congratulations to you. You know, I think you guys are real heroes. Heroes decide people's energy, their endurance, and their experience. And I think throughout life, it's great to be able to find people that are willing to bet on themselves, bet on their dreams. Jesus went after entrepreneurs, people that are willing to take some risks. And you guys took a risk. You left a place that was comfortable for a place that was beyond where you currently were, to be able to touch more people, impact more people. And we're all here today because you guys took a risk on what God put inside of your heart. What an honor it is. Let's celebrate. Give them a big old clap. I'm excited to be here today. It's going to be a good day, whether you like it or not. Okay, you got out of bed this morning. The NFL is not that exciting right now. Okay, I know lots happened this week. Justin Bieber and Selena got back together. Trump is in East Asia. Come on. GSP won the title again last night. But you're in God's presence today. That's kind of a big deal. So today, this is a real privilege for me. My biggest thing that you said was, I'm a dad and I'm a husband. I've had a chance to speak for 20 plus years now, a little over 20 years. I played baseball in my previous career, played for the Boston Red Sox, and then I walked away from it 20 years ago to pursue a world that didn't exist, but it had to exist. How many of you feel like inside of you there's a world that doesn't exist on the outside, but it has to exist because it lives on the inside? It was a creative and a courageous act. I walked away from everything I knew to leave a world behind, fired my agents, walked away from all my contracts. The most closest to me thought I did too many drugs. They go, why are you going to leave professional baseball where the money's good to go become a custodian in a church? Success Magazine owner recently said to me, we were doing an event together, about 8,000 people in Miami, Darren Hardy, and he said this to me. He said, why in the world would you leave professional sports to go be a janitor? And I said, because the desire in me was bigger than the world that I was living in around me. I went and worked in a church, custodian, scrubbing toilets. No one would listen to me. Plus, the people around the ministries were nervous I was going to cuss. You never know, something might pop out. I'll do my best. Kids are in the room. This is the HBO version. But at night, I would go in and speak to 2,000 empty seats because I had the keys. I couldn't find anybody to listen to me. Finally, they let me do the 5- and 6-year-olds. I used to try to teach them about Jonah the whale. I told them about like Free Willy and Flipper. I was doing the best I could. And then I prospered where I was planted and just served, because I believe what you do in the dark gets acknowledged and rewarded in the light. And just because somebody else has a harvest moment don't mean that's your harvest moment. But if you stay with a process where you develop and cultivate the land, there comes a time where God exposes what he's developed inside of you. You're really going to like today, promise. About 7 months after that, I was walking down the street with a friend of mine who's a paramedic. I was only making $5 an hour, which is not too good after playing professional sports. Can't keep up your lifestyle that way. But I trimmed away excess, and I was walking down the street, and a lot of my friends had kind of gone off my path, and people that I thought were my friends found out they only liked me because of my sports career. And I was walking down the road, and a car comes by with about 3 or 4 police escorts, all these black vehicles. The window rolls down, and the gentleman goes, "Who are you?" I go, "Who are you?" And he goes, "I was driving by, this audible voice from God told me I'm supposed to have dinner with you." He goes, "Do you have anything going on?" "Not too much. I'm just a janitor at the local church." Little did I know that within a couple of weeks I'd be doing the peace process between Benjamin Netanyahu and King Hussein. Across the Middle East, and life would change as you know. You never know. One moment can change your life. My Uncle Bud was best friends with a guy who created Nike. And he talked to the guy that created Nike, Phil Knight, said to my uncle, "Please get into business with me. Please get into business with me. I have a shoe brand that's going to do really good." They were best friends. They hung out. They partied. They kicked it together. My uncle's a star athlete at Oregon University. But my uncle said, "I don't see much vision here. I don't think it's really going to happen. I wish you the best, but it's just not for me." He would be a billionaire today if he had joined in his business. He missed his opportunity. The song "Happy" by Pharrell. Anybody like that song? That song was first given to CeeLo Green. CeeLo Green said, "I don't see much future here. I don't see that this is going to be a good song. I don't think it's cut out for me. I don't think I can do much with it." A different set of eyes that was accessible, not closed, named Pharrell goes, oh my gosh, I could create this out of that, create this out of that. As a result, he ended up with the #1 song on the planet. Your opportunity in this moment is built on your accessibility. Come on, you won't like this, I promise. You didn't even get into the tech stuff yet, but I promise you'll like it. I brought a Bible and everything. It's going to work. I speak about 50-50, half church, half business. But your opportunity today is built on your accessibility. So I encourage you just for a minute, give you maybe 25, 30 minutes of your life, okay? Go all the way in. If all you do is listen, you're going to cheat yourself. You got yourself up this morning, got your butt out of bed, put on clothes, had some breakfast. Some of you didn't, so you're a little grumpy. Okay, you're waiting for the after party. You're like, come on, you know what I mean? So if all you do is listen to me, you're going to retain only 8% in 4 weeks. That's cheating yourself. If you take notes, then you're only going to retain 38 to 42%. But if you talk, you communicate, and you move your body, the statistics are in that you'll retain 90 to 92%. I don't know about you, but when I show up, I want to be all in. I want to be fully engaged. So I beg you, no matter if you're Muslim, Hindu, Christian, whoever you are, your background, this morning in this church, be all in. Is that fair? Slap the person next to you, say, be all in. Come on, say, be all in. Isaiah says these words, the prophet, Isaiah 43:18, 19 familiar verses for people in church. Do not remember the former things, don't dwell on the past. Slap the person next to you, say, don't dwell on the past. God says, check it out, I'm going to do something new and something different. Are you willing to make room for it in your thinking? Your life and your thinking have brought you to where you currently are right now. Your mind has the ability to make a heaven out of hell, a hell out of heaven. Your thoughts have creative ability. They decide your performance. While your capability is constant, how much of it you use depends on the way you think. Unsuccessful people think in terms of survival. Average people, they think in terms of maintenance, if I can just maintain. The challenge with that is that you compare yourself and compete with what other people are doing in this world. Looking at them will never reveal your potential. If I'm in Michael Jordan's place in Chicago, it says on his wall, all I ever knew was I never wanted to be average. In an interview, they said, well, what did you do to keep your competitive edge? He said, I never competed against another player. I always competed against the next version of myself. He says, because if I competed and looked at what other people were doing, I'd measure my growth and my success by what other people were doing or failing at, and that would never reveal what I'm capable of if I challenge myself. Don't dwell on the past. God says I want to do a new and a different. Someone say a different. Different means not usual, not regular, not ordinary. We're such creatures of habit, huh? We go to the same places, keep the same hairstyles, wear the same clothes. We say the same prayers. I wonder if like Jesus is like, yo, you got any new material for me? You've been saying the same prayer for like 12 years there, Jack. Come on, somebody. We're creatures of habit. One day I was in a Starbucks. It was about 6:45 a.m. Early. I was half awake because I'd been speaking the night before. So I was in one of those don't mess with you moods. Do you ever get that way on Monday morning, even if you are a person of faith? You rejoice, Lord, always after you have your coffee, you know what I mean? Standing in line, and the barista goes, hey, Rex, would you like to use your... Did she just say my name? You know what I mean? I'm half awake. Did she say my name? Did she not? So I'm not going to say nothing. People are kind of looking at me, about 4 people deep. And then about maybe a minute or two go by, and she goes, Rex, would you like to use your... And I thought in my mind, oh my gosh, if I'd become that predictable that she already knows what I'm going to order. So I decided to mess up my Starbucks experience, and I yelled real loud, no, I want different. Someone was like, hurry, get him his Xanax, get him his coffee, get him what he needs, slow him down, oh my gosh. For things to become different, we must become different. God's always looking for what's unseen, things that are different. We're such creatures of habit. Our similarity creates comfort, but it's our difference that creates our rewards. Come on, swoop. I felt that one. Movement right there, huh? Our similarity creates comfort, but it's our difference that creates our rewards. AA teaches insanity is doing the same thing and wanting a different outcome. I think actually most people fail in life because we look for things that are similar between one another because we don't want to be insecure, but we never study our difference, therefore we live unrewarded for what we contain. Let me stay with me. Let me go all the way out here tonight. I'll just turn you out. Come on, let's go. Let's go all the way out. I'm going to go for this morning. I feel it, baby. Come on, it's early, but I feel something. You know what I mean? Come on. White shirts don't got that. I got like one of those Ugandan vibes up in here. Come on, you know, when I'm in Kampala, that's what I feel. Watch. Okay, watch. Most of us have never studied our difference. Therefore, we live unrewarded for what you contain. What a tragedy that we will go to a graveyard one day and we never live out who you're meant to become. We'll have to wait till eternity to start doing that. In fact, I asked my friend Miles Monroe back a couple years ago before he went to heaven, I said, why do we need an eternal life, Miles? He said, you'll need an eternal life, Rex, because it will take an eternity for God to get out of you everything He put in you. You ain't sitting next to somebody that's regular. You're sitting next to a flipping vault of miracles inside of somebody. Touch the person next to you, say, you have no idea who you're sitting next to. I might seem odd to you. Come on, somebody. Woo! But I'm just what God wanted to make. Fearfully, wonderfully made. Before anybody could reject you, He approved of you. He endorses you. He put His stamp, His swoosh on you. LeBron might got $1 billion from Nike on the back of him, but you got God the Holy Ghost that sealed you. You ain't regular. Stop treating yourself like regular. Because why? Because if you don't value that, you'll violate it. What you don't value, you always violate. If you misdiagnose yourself as regular, you'll mistreat yourself as regular. You'll give people discounts on you. Someone's like, oh, shoot. Could you have told me that on Thursday night before I went out? For Halloween, before I dressed up as? Aren't you worth examining? Plato said the life unexamined is not worth living. He got it from the state of Genesis 3. He asked man, where are you? Who are you? Most people study themselves to basis to make sure I can feel okay compared. But no, you were meant to blend, not to blend in, stand out, be the light of the world. Be something different. God knew this time, this plan, season, it would require your difference. The greatest mind in the universe designed you, planned you. Wouldn't you be worth studying for like 3 months? Your whole life, oh, I'm just busy. How you doing? I'm busy. I got so much going on. Oh my gosh, I'm busy. We're so busy doing things out of states of emergency, we never get to things that are ultimate because we're not willing to invest and study what makes up you. Why am I here? What makes me different? You ever wonder what keeps God intrigued with you? Well, I'm just His creation. He loves me. Yeah, He does. He's crazy about you. In fact, He's never thought a bad thought about you. He put tattoos of you on His hand, all of you anti-tattoo people. Trip out on that, Isaiah 50. Come on, somebody. He inscribed you on His hands. He's never thought a bad thought. He can't get you off His mind. What keeps God intrigued with you is not your similarity, but your difference. That's why He keeps trying to work in you, not just to do what everybody else does. Don't be a clone. Don't watch what they do. The fear of man brings a snare. It traps you and trips you and contains you. Why? Because then you compare yourself with everybody else. But God made you an original, it's been said. Don't die a copy. My friend John Mason created that quote. God did not make you to be a carbon copy of somebody else. He wanted you to be original. So study yourself for a minute. What makes you different? What makes you different? What do you love to dream about, learn about, read about? What do you love to study? What keeps you awake? What would you do if there was all the resources in the world? What would you love to imagine? The best people to be, God's created us to be should be dreamers. Dreamers dream of a world that doesn't exist but has to exist, right? I mean, to say this about dreamers, most people don't choose the worst life, they just don't choose the best. But this planet's made better or worse by the people we choose to become. That's the dreamer inside of us. Let me think about it for a minute. What do you hate the most? Ooh, I'm not called to hate. Are you sure? Because usually what you hate, you're willing to fight and correct. Here's a great one, Pastor. What draws the compassion out of you? When you look at it, it makes you weep. It gets under your skin. It bothers you. It makes you cry. Well, Pastor, I want you to go minister to these people. I want you to go minister to these people. I think the greatest clue to your success in your life, and not success, let's say significance. Success is whatever. Success to Warren Buffett is not making $1 million a day. He's a billionaire. Success to somebody in the dump of Africa where we've gone and grabbed a bunch of children and put them in a home. Success is having one meal a day. Significance, that's a whole different thing. Whatever draws the compassion out of you, I believe you're assigned to heal. We're waiting on clues for have a significant, meaningful life, a heroic life, a life that makes an impact and a difference. What draws the compassion out of you? I believe those are clues to you. You're assigned to heal it. For things to become different, we got to become different. Come on, watch. So I'm going to take you to a story real fast. Luke chapter 5. And I brought the biggest Bible I can so I can look super spiritual. Right, Joe? Just want to make sure I look that way. You know what I'm saying? Just in case I do something off, at least my Bible tells me I'm still on. I needed a wheelbarrow to get it in. Okay, it says this. Luke chapter 5 on the right-hand side of the Bible, verse 1. So it says, as it was, the multitude pressed about Jesus to hear the word of God. He stood by the lake of Gennesaret. He saw two boats anchored by the lake. Someone say the shallow ends. But the fishermen had gone from them and were washing their nets. He got in and asked for Simon if he could use his boat and asked him to put out a little from the land. He sat down and taught the multitudes from the boat. Over 1,000 people, by the way. When he stopped speaking, he said to Simon, launch out into the deep, let down your nets for a catch. But Simon goes, yo, master, we toiled all night. In other words, I'm tired on the inside, tired on the outside. We caught nothing. Nevertheless, at your word, I'll let down the net. And when they did this, they caught so many fish, their net was breaking. They signaled to their partners to come, and they filled both boats, so they began to almost sink. Peter freaked out, fell down at Jesus' knees, saying, depart from me, I'm a sinful dude, Jesus. For he and all that were with him were astonished at the abundance of fish they caught. So also were his buddies James, John, the sons of Zebedee. And then it says that Jesus said to Simon, do not be afraid, from now on. Someone say, from now on. From now on, you will catch men. Now, I beg you to pay attention. Here we go. So it's an ordinary day. And Peter just got done fishing because it's the natural time to fish. Fish bite at night. He's a third-generational fisherman. He had a great business going. If you ever get a chance to go to Israel, you can go there and see where his business was. You can go into part of one of the original boats that he had. He had about 9 boats. He had a lot of operations going. It's amazing that Jesus did not come for a bunch of worship leaders. He came after entrepreneurs. Every disciple he called was a business owner. Why? Because he needed people that were willing to take risk. They had to be willing to walk away from a world they'd known for a world they could create. And he would teach them to see and cause what's invisible and make it visible. Come on. He needed people with a little bit of energy. Come on, a little bit with a crazy vibe on them. Willing to be a little courageous. Even can handle their weaknesses. So you're in good competition there. You're in good hands if you have a little bit of weakness. It says they pressed about him. The word press means to use force and focus to get somewhere. If you ever look in your life, you usually don't really press in until what? There's either inspiration or desperation. You get a little bit hungrier than you currently are. When I look at my life, life changes when I get a little bit hungrier than I currently am. When I'm in Africa, I was so excited the very first time to go on safari. I was totally pumped up. I'm going to see the lions. I thought I was going to watch the National Geographic channel. I wanted to see a lion eat a zebra. Come on, I didn't want to watch them in the zoo. I wanted to watch the thing eat it and come on, tear it apart. Roar! You know what I mean? I didn't want to see no pussy cat. Come on, somebody. I wanted to see a lion. That's what I'm paying money for. Come on, somebody. I didn't pay to see the little cat. I want the big cat eating the zebra. I'm all excited. I've been speaking about 6 days in Kenya. Bought a home for all these kids. It was cool. We're having fun, praying for kids with AIDS. It was awesome, Jesus-style stuff. Now I'm on safari. I'm all excited. I come across the guy that's in our car. He's going. He goes, hey, there's a pod of lions right there. Cool. And I went there and I expected them all to be like waiting, hunting, and they're all sleeping, bugs in their eyes. And I said, what are they doing? They go, oh, they're lazy creatures. I go, lazy? What do you mean? They sleep 18 hours a day. This isn't what I learned. Come on, somebody, when I'm not National Geographic. False advertisement, give me my money back. I do not care about the little leopard over there. I want the lion. You know what I'm saying? That's what I came to see. And I go, they sleep 18 hours a day, and during the day, the elephant's the king of the jungle. But something happens at night. At night, that hunger gets awakened inside of that lion. And though he's only the half of the size, not even a half a size, a quarter size of that elephant, its hunger demands that he gets up and take charge where he doesn't back down from anything. His hunger, what allows him to become the king of the jungle and become the leader and no longer the follower. He doesn't have the size, the capabilities, but he's got hunger. Your life changes when you get more hungry than you currently are right now. Oh, if you don't believe me, Jesus says, blessed are those that are constantly hungry, they shall be filled. Did he not say that? And the word hungry means those that stay in a state where they're constantly hungry and challenging themselves that where they are is not all there is. They will be filled. I was speaking in Georgia a couple months ago, and there was this boy, I was told this boy ran. He ran 8 miles in the morning to get to church, 17 years of age. He'd lived in a closet since the age of 5. Dad and stepdad constantly used his body for their own purposes. They threw feces on him. They would do all kinds of stuff to make him eat dog food, dog collar around his neck. But somewhere he heard there'd be a hope if he came to a church. He didn't have the money, he didn't have anything. He broke out and ran with rags on his body. He was determined. He wasn't going to church to sing a couple beautiful songs. He had to touch God. He had to feel something. He had to find a way out. When you get your biggest breakthroughs, you get a little bit more hungry than you currently are right now. You want your marriage or passion to build deeper bonds with your kids, you got to get a little hungrier than you currently are right now. You want your relationship with God to go to the next level? Well, I hope so. We'll see what the Lord does. 2/3 of God's name is go. That means move. That was deep. That was a tweetable moment. I'm waiting on the Lord. Really? Come on. The Bible says the mind of a man plans his way, only then does God direct his steps. You got no plan, God can't lead anything. You think he's frustrating you, you frustrating him. Just read. I mean, that's just what happens when I read, you know. He came that day and he got free. A woman in New York who threw her baby in the air. I was in a stadium, and she threw her baby in the air. They stayed, we were praying for sick people, and she saw hope. Her baby looked dead, but she got desperate. She couldn't want to wait. She thought the thing was going to be over. No one's going to stay and pray. This woman grabbed her baby and chucked her baby in the air, caught her baby. I sat there and wept like a baby. This woman, she had a hunger. Other people like, I sure hope the Lord touches me. Not that woman. She was going to find a way or make a way. Ooh, come on, y'all. But look, life wants to tame you. Western church wants to domesticate your faith. Praise him. Churches out there want to tell you if God chooses you, then you're going to go to heaven. It's not for everyone. Come on, somebody. Universalism wants to tell you don't got to believe in anything. Just love. You want to stir up hunger in your own life? Ask yourself the question, if you're in the same place you are relationally, financially, emotionally, spiritually, are you going to be cool with that in 6 months? If the answer is no, then you ought to do something. Come on, somebody. Okay. Things change when you change them. Don't ask God to bless what you won't do. I'm going to amen myself on that. I think that's the right word. I'm just on freestyle up here for a minute. Come on. When you compare yourself with your better version of yourself, you get hungry. See what you haven't become, where you can go, you haven't gone. What? Unused success inside you. You get hungry when you hang around other world shakers just like you in this place there. There's synergy, there's power when you share a common goal. People bounce back better. Their immune systems get stronger by being in a church community like this. People get healed better. That's scientific law. Just by being in an atmosphere where people have a goal to improve and reach out and do something together, they improve their resources and multiply their strength and their power. And they actually decrease anxiety and depression by a massive 80-something% in their minds. No wonder God said, don't forsake the assembling of the people. Come on. Why? Because there's power in numbers. Joint efforts yield better results. Pedro Jerez, he's blind, but he wanted to run the New York Marathon a couple months back. Obviously, the blind guy can't run the marathon. He go run into people and trip and fall. Come on, somebody.
Well, the Lord could give it to him, but he didn't, okay? The guy had to run blind. But he said, you know what? Rather than discount my dream and my desire, I'm going to find somebody else to run with. So he didn't find someone that had the same, just had everything together. He found a guy that was deaf. He said they weren't going to, based on where they were run, based on their disabilities, but their destination. Just drop nuggets for a minute. Come on. Let's go. We'll pull out, holster. Let's go for it. Watch. I'm talking about partners, not parasites. Parasites want what's in your hand. They want you to sponsor their life. Partners want what's in your hearts. Partners unite your future. Parasites, they want to leech. They want to grab onto a host and steal your nutrients. They want to flap, but they don't want to fly. Come on, somebody. They like it comfortable like a chicken. They got to be taken care of. Chickens have babies, but they don't care for them. They wait for a farmer to take care of them. Eagles, they take care of their own and teach their own how to fly. Eagles don't partner with a chicken because when there's a storm, chickens go and hide. Eagles use a storm that they can only usually go 12 to 15,000 feet, but in a storm, they can reach up to 22 to 23,000 feet because they expand, and the storm and the turbulence actually adds the value to how far that they can go. Don't despise the challenge. Your challenge is sometimes you're set up. Anyways, just saying. So they pressed in. Come on, someone say pressed. Come on, they had a determination. How hungry are you? How hungry? You settling for a safe life? Are you, God say, hey, I was safe, but now I'm sorry. That didn't go over too well. Why? Because our parents taught us better safe than sorry. Hey, be careful. The biggest curse word I think it is on the planet for Christians. Be careful. Come on. My mom was a good mama. I love my mama. Come on, somebody. I'm a mama's boy. Still love my mama. Come on, somebody. I was with my mama 2 nights ago. But my mama is addicted to a word called be careful. She would say, in other words, Rex, it's okay that you went out, but don't go all the way in because what if? So the challenge with that is I dabbled with everything but didn't master anything. Come on. We're going to flirt. I'm going to flirt with that church, flirt with that relationship, flirt with this business idea, flirt with this money, flirt with this style, flirt, 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 flirt. The challenge is I never built anything that I was proud of, never had it in reality because all I did was dabble with things, never master anything. I never made a commitment, so I never had a reality. Woo, come on, stay with me for a minute. They pressed in to hear him. They pressed in. Whose voice is guiding your life? Your voice, it's full of insecurity. The enemy's voice is full of accusation and fear of what you're not, what you can never become. God's voice, it's always full of speaking your potential. You want to recognize his voice? He's talking about things unseen. He's telling you you're more than where you've been, yet your history does not equal your destiny. He's telling you you're only your psychology does. They pressed in to hear him. But something's interesting. He noticed these boats were anchored. These boats were anchored. It stood out that the Holy Spirit put it in the Bible. Boats were anchored. They're anchored in the shallow end. Are many of our lives supposed to be profound and deep, but we're anchored in the shallow end? We've become shallow because we've stopped dreaming. We've become addicted to a life without dreams. I one day was walking, my wife was pregnant, so I saw a Wendy's. And I go, she had an urge, so I said, do you want some lemonade? Oh my gosh, yes, let's get some lemonade, Rex, I need it. Okay. So I pulled off, and there was a homeless guy. It was kind of raining. I knew he was a young cat. I knew he was going to ask me for money. So I said, babe, watch this. We're going to play a joke on him. Joke's on him. We're going to play him out. Watch how this goes. She goes, what are you going to do? I said, let's just watch. So we go in, and he goes, hey, can I have some money? I go, why don't you come in? I said, look at that amazing menu. Doesn't it look incredible? They had the Wendy's big combo, the frosty thing, the big fries. His eyes got real big. I said, hey, order whatever you want. Let me just be good to you. Order whatever you want. So I talked to my wife, being an attentive husband, and I looked back. He only ordered a $1 hamburger. I go, I thought you said you were really, really hungry and you had cravings. You know, yeah. I go, well, then please order whatever you want. And then I looked back again, still only 99 cent hamburger. Well, I had a bunch of cash in my pocket, so I took it out. I had about $400 or $500 in cash. And I took it out, and I started flashing it before his face. And I go, man, this is burning a hole in my pocket. I said, would you please order what you want? When he looked at that money, his eyes got big. His eyes got huge. And I go, please order what you, my wife, he still won't order the 99-cent hamburger. So I punched him in the chest. Probably not the best option. Take me back to my roots, you know what I'm saying? I read a Smith Wigglesworth book once. You punch people out. I punched him in the chest and I said, stop allowing your addiction to your condition to talk you out of your dreams. I said, I'm trying to give you $500, but you keep ordering small off the menu. Life will pay you what you ask for it. Most of us have lost touch with the dreamer because of disappointment. 63% of Americans believe their best days are behind them and they're powerless to change their future, according to Harvard. They don't believe in the power of their dreams. Hope deferred makes a heart sick. The heart of America has become so critical because they've lost sight of the dreams they were creating. Only you can become as critical when you have no dream. You wonder and wander and focus on everybody else is doing rather than your own because you have no dream to motivate you, move you forward. Are your dreams a memorial to what was or what can be? Come on, somebody. Stevie Wonder was asked, he goes, when he was a little kid, he asked his mom, he said, Mama, why am I born blind? They said, because we're cursed by God. True story. And he goes, oh, Mama, we ain't cursed by God. Come on, everyone just do the Stevie Wonder. Just try it. Come on, somebody. Come on. Hush my Sherry. Come on, somebody. Chill. I ain't going to even decide to be like you right there. You can actually sing him. He said, his mom said, we're cursed by God. He goes, no, we ain't. A couple days later, he was only 7 or 8 years old at the time. He was in his Billy's next door neighbor. He was in their barn playing. You remember, he can't see. He's sitting there and he's running and he stumbles on a rock and he puts his hands out to try to brace himself, whatever he could get his hands on so he didn't fall. And he hits an old wooden broken down piano and keys went off. And he started screaming, I can see, I can see. Billy got scared and ran out. Stevie Wonder ran home. I would pay money to watch Stevie Wonder run home. Remember, he can't see. Don't tell me that would not be funny. Come on, y'all watch cartoons. Quit it. He runs home. He goes, Mama, Mama, we ain't cursed no more. She goes, what you talking about, Stevie? He says, what you talking about, Willis? What you talking about, Stevie? He says, Mama, Mama, I was at Billy's, and I hit this thing, and there's sound. Mama, Mama, I can see, I can see, I can see. She goes, you can't see my hands, you can't see my face. No, I can see. He goes, Mama, I'm going to make sounds and make people happy. I see all the faces, I'm going to make them happy. There's all these faces that are happy when I make sounds. She goes, but you can't see my hands. She goes, I don't see with my outer eyes, I see with my inner eyes. Woo, what has God allowed you to see? He asks you 7 times in the scriptures, what do you see? God's highly intrigued by what do you envision for your future. Sometimes it's not just something that falls out of the sky. You got to see something on purpose. If your memories are bigger than your dreams, you're dying. Why? Because dreams are the energy of progress. I'm talking to a group of dreamers. A culture. Don't hide the best part of yourself. Somebody's starving and craving your love today. Someone's craving your love. Jesus said, by this you'll know if you're my people, if you have love. Love doesn't watch people in pain. It heals people in pain. Love doesn't wait for somebody else to forgive. It does the first. Love begins with you. Love has to be, watch, you need to amplify love. We need to amplify it. We need love to begin to live with us on a greater compassion so we don't stay anchored in some shallow end somewhere. A woman in South Africa, her son, there was this is before apartheid, there was white officers, and they came to the ghetto, and they took her family out. They took her son out. He was a young boy. They shot him point blank and called him names based on the color of his skin. Killed him. They went to try to get help from the South African Council, and they just completely shut them down because it was run by a bunch of white bigot people. I'm saying that as a white man. They actually just crushed her and shut her down. 2 years later, Mr. Officer Vanderbroek and his team showed back up again. They took her husband. She did not know where her husband was for over a year. They came back and got him. She's trying to get help. She's an old woman in the ghetto, living just struggling day in, day out. They got her and they took her out by a lake, and there he was, tied, bound, pouring oil and gasoline on him, and they began to set him on fire, and they danced around, all calling him names by the color of his skin. His last words were, Father, forgive them. They don't know what they do. He passed. Vanderbroek eventually confessed to all these crimes, and in South Africa, they let the victims of this family, they let you talk if something had happened. They said, what do you say? The 70-now-year-old woman, after a couple years of this experience of losing her son and her husband, she stood up and says, Judge, I have 3 things. They were holding her. They said, yes. Number 1, she said, Judge, she said, I need somebody to take me to his where this happened so I can get the dust and any remains that are left and I can give him a proper burial. And so because he was a loving, honorable, wonderful man and I want to celebrate him and I don't want that to be the last thing that he experienced on earth. They said, absolutely. Number 2, listen, Judge, I don't have any gifts. I don't got any special talent. I don't got much money. I don't have anything else. But one thing I have is I'm a lover, and I am good at loving, and I don't want to lose that because of somebody else has done to me. She said, I'm good at it, so I'm asking you if I can adopt that man. It's the wishes of me and my husband. I want him by a court appointment to come to my home twice a week so I can pour out love on him because if you just take him away, I can't live because I don't have anybody to love. And if I can't love, I can't live. Please don't kill the lover in me and let me be the 3rd victim because you won't let me love somebody. All of a sudden, she says, I want him to know that I'm forgiven. So much so that it's not enough to speak a word. Somebody please help me over here so I can hug that man so he knows this isn't a bunch of gibberish, but that he's truly forgiven because love must win here today. As she walked close, that officer, he fainted, passed out. All of a sudden, all these white people in there, now a whole mixture of African people were inside of there. They grabbed these people's hands. Powerful right before this began to be the turn, the change of apartheid. A whole change. Well, Nelson Mandela for 27 years was getting dreams and plans in jail. He was asked, how did you survive 27 years in a jail cell? He said, I didn't survive. I prepared for 27 years. Anybody feel a grace in here? How am I on time? How much time do I got? Tell me. 5 minutes. Okay, fast. Watch. All of a sudden they began to sing, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. People that were been disconnected now are reconnected. Let's detach from all these stupid news stuff in the world. I'm going to challenge every one of us. Let's detach from everybody ordering our steps around this people, this race, this thing. Love's got to win. Love has to win because love contends for people. It fights for people. Love sees the best and the worst. Love unites. Let's not let political figures and these stupid newscasts tell us what's going to happen with us. We are the people that have the Spirit of Jesus inside of us. Let's not be in a shallow place. Let's go to a deep place because love's got to win inside of you. Come on, love has to win inside of you. Don't settle for lust. Jesus is going to ask you 2 questions. Did you accept me or reject me? And did you learn how to love? He ain't going to ask you if your Versace suit looked good. He ain't going to ask you if your teeth were all white. Come on, somebody, even though I hope you have them. He's going to ask, did you learn how to love? Come on, love begins with me. Someone say it begins with me. Come on, someone own that. Come on, someone say love starts here, baby. Come on, it starts here. What about the leader inside you? Let things slip. Let things slip, let things slip, let things slip. Come on, own your body again, own your mind again. Come on, tell the devil to get off. You're going to get aggressive again. You're going to get some discipline back in your life again. Come on, choose a discipline. What about the believer in you? Does the believer become a little bit blinded? When you're blinded, you become bossy. I got 3 minutes now. I got to go fast. Watch. I was walking in Hollywood with a friend of mine. On a show, on a TV show, we were walking, just having pizza, and he walked down the street, there's a guy in a wheelchair, and I go, hey, what's your name? He goes, my name's Eddie the Pothead. I go, no one's ever introduced himself as Eddie the Pothead to me before. I go, you for real? He goes, that's just what I've always been. I've always been a, we'll say, screw up. I go, do you like being Eddie the Pothead? He goes, that's just what I believe I am. I said, I believe you could be a lot more than you are. That belief probably limits you rather than liberates you. Because Jesus said you become what you believe. Good or bad. Ooh, come on. If you believe you're an addict, there's no hope for you. Why? If you have an addiction, there's a lot of hope for you. But if you believe you're an addict, you'll always return back to it, even if you have months of sobriety, because that's who you are in your mind. It's not who you are that holds you back. It's who you think you're not. Watch this, watch. So I go, do you want to be him? He goes, I don't know if you know how to believe in it, become anything else. I go, what if you believe God can help you? He goes, you got some magic powers? I go, yeah, something like that. He goes, what do you mean? I go, do you mind if I pray for you? He's smoking a joint. He goes, do I have to put out my joint? I go, no. I don't know if that was the smart thing to do, but whatever. I go, okay. So he goes, I can't walk. I can't stand. My friend's sitting there, and he's a brand new believer. I go, let's take a shot. He goes, what if it don't work? What if it does? Take the same amount of faith. Just one's going to look for a positive outcome, a God outcome. One's going to look for just the same outcome. So I go, okay, we're going to pray for you, and let's expect something good to happen. He goes, okay. I said, you just hold your joint. We're going to pray. He goes, okay. I said, Jesus, if you're anywhere around the neighborhood, help the guy out. Thank you, God, that you're good all the time, even when we're not. Thank you that if anybody would ask in your name, you would hook somebody up, because grace is bigger than what we go through. All of a sudden, he goes, I feel energy in my body. I go, is it the pot? He goes, no, it's like a warm liquid thing in my body. I go, stand up. He's in a wheelchair. I go, stand up. He goes, what'd you do to my back? I go, you for real? He goes, yeah. I go, I only called on one God. I didn't call on Buddha. I didn't call on Allah. In fact, Allah never says in the Quran he loves you. But the Quran says 21 times that Jesus heals people. And your greatest need is to be loved. Why do you got to throw that in there? Because there's all so much PC in the world, political correctness. It's political BS. Belief systems that require no change. I just gave you permission to use BS all the time, belief systems. Jesus says to him, Peter, up to this time, Peter had a casual relationship with Jesus, met him a year and a half prior. Peter was not a disciple for all the years. A year and a half, he kept his fishing business. He had a casual relationship. Sometimes he would show up on fishing expeditions, healing expeditions, just real casual. But now Jesus wanted to take it from casual to profound. God's about to change the level of this church, change the level of your life. You've entered a season where God's taken things where they've been casual, incidental, and having good intentions to massive initiative. Things are about to shift. I came to say something. I came not just positive, not motivational, not just principle. I came to say something a little prophetic. I came to tell you about your future. I came to tell when I'm with Russell Simmons, he goes, tell me about your future. I want to tell you about your future for a minute. Eyes not seen, ears not heard, the good things God set up for you. The world's getting bad. Good, because where sin abounds, grace abounds more. Sickness abounds, healing abounds more. Poverty abounds, God's people can rise more. Come on, you don't believe that, do you? Well, I'm just trying to get to heaven. Really? You weren't made for heaven. If you were, you'd already be there. You didn't fall from heaven, you fell from glory. Jesus came to restore the glory of God to your life so you can reign in earth, not reign in heaven. Come on, you world shakers. Come on, there's more than meets the eye. Peter, sitting there. Hey, give me your boat. There's the law of cause and effect. Come on. You want God's effect, you got to join his cause. Don't want a 100-fold harvest with a 30% interest investment. God, I want massive blessings, but you're a 30% person. Come on. I'm going to dabble with it. I'm going to tithe every third month. The church tithes. 22% of the Church of America tithes. Tell me why we don't got power. We trust money more than we trust God. I hope God gives you so much money you don't know what to do with. But at the same time, if we don't trust God to pay a light bill, come on, somebody, he's still Jehovah Jireh, a provider. I don't believe all that. Just, why are you going to talk about money? Why? Because money and giving is proof you've conquered greed. If you can't give, greed's got you. And the only influence you have over your future is the seed you sow today. Ooh, come on. That means something in your hand can create something in your future. A guy ate dinner with Tony Robbins. People know him. He's the big guy with the big teeth and the really big smile. He won't do business with anybody who does not tie 10% of their income to a charity. His businesses now are worth about $6 billion. He owes it to tithing. Coldplay only continues to do music because they tithe 10% of their income since they started, because they tithe it and put kids, boys and girls getting medical treatment. U2 tithes their income. As a result, Bono takes care of 82,000 children every day. Lazarus Effects and Drugs and AIDS Trade Africa. He's done more than our presidents have done for the last 4 administrations. Bono himself has done it, a guy from Ireland, because he's a tither. Connect with God's cause, you get God's effect. Come on, somebody. Launch out into the deep. I don't know if I really want to. I'm tired. God, you do it for me. God doesn't want to do a lot of things for you. He wants to do things with you. Launch out of the deep. Let down your nets for a catch. I'm tired. I didn't catch a lot. Come on, stretch out. Launch out into the deep. Launch out into deep. He gives him a word. Jesus speaks abundance. Yeah, you're always speaking your world into existence. Might as well speak abundance, right? Jesus only spoke miracles. He spoke life where there's death. He spoke healing where there's sickness. Come on, study your Bible. Come on, he spoke hope where there's despair. He spoke true lies. He didn't care if people loved him, hated him, deserted him, or whatever. He stuck to what his standard was. He's going to speak what he saw his Father say. Come on. Launch out into the deep. I end with this. Watch. There's a woman that we were studying. I was studying about. She was on Joyce Meyer's program. Penny Shepherd is her name. And she was really hurt and pain. She hurt her back when she was 13. It got so bad it crippled her. She couldn't take care of her children. She was living in a bed almost all day long. Her husband would have to carry her to wash her hair out, have to feed her. She tried to get all kinds of medication to help her. Nothing would happen. So she finally prayed and said, God, she said, I think I'm just going to check out. This isn't going to help me. I can't stay here. I can't take care of my kids. Life's going to be over. And she said, I heard these words, run to your miracle. She goes, run, I can't walk. She said, but I made a decision. She said, it happened, audible voice. She called her husband and said, God told me I need to run to my miracle. He says, babe, you all right? You can't walk. You can't get out of bed. All I know is God said, run to your miracle. I need you to take me to the doctor. She says, babe, you're overreacting. No. He says, just be realistic. No, realistic's for people that live by fear. I need to go to the doctor. You ever hear someone go, be realistic? They're really governed by being afraid and disappointed, therefore they don't try. Fear's got them. Come on, somebody. Watch how powerful. They go to the doctor, and the doctor says, you can't walk. Same thing, they carried her in there. She says, I don't care what you see. This is what I'm telling you. I need you to help me get to a place where I can run. God told me to run to my miracle. She goes, what do you mean, run a block, run 2 blocks? No, I decided to sign up before I came here to run a marathon. True documented story. She can't walk. To run a marathon in 3 months. Every day they put her body in a thing, and it moved it. She said the pain was excruciating. Sometimes when you have to lift your hands and worship, it hurts like hell. Sometimes when you got to pray, sometimes when you got to tie, sometimes when you got to love people in your own family. Come on, somebody. It hurts like hell. Let me give you a great nugget to build your life on. You're never what you feel. You're always what you decide. You're never what you feel. You're always what you decide. Your feelings are fickle. They can lie to you. Come on, somebody. Your feelings will tell you something that you ain't. Come on, somebody. Your feelings are deceitful. Come on. I don't buy into PC that says we are our feelings. That's the biggest lie from hell. God gave you the ability to choose, not just to feel. Watch. So they put her in a machine every day. They'd carry her to and fro. Finally, she got to the point where she could jerk and walk. Now the big day showed up. She'd been able to do these little things in a machine. Now she got there. And right when they went to click off the gun, she took a step. And at that moment, the step, all the pain left her body. Now, let me tell you, 3 days prior in the training, her knee went out. And they tried to go as easy. They said, look, it's never going to work. She still showed up. The gun went off. All the pain left out. She screamed, the pain is gone. First time since 13. She's almost 40. All the pain left her body. They said, look, the miracle happened. The miracle happened. She said, you're going to stop. He said, no. God didn't tell me to get at the starting place of my miracle. He told me to run my miracle. God isn't healing me so I can stop at the starting line. He's healing me so I can run. I can run and show people that this is God. She ran all 26 miles with somebody helping her. When they got done, they interviewed her. They said, what was it like to have your miracle happen? This is a documented story. They said, when did it happen? She says, my miracle didn't happen here today. My miracle happened when I was in pain, when I was hurting, when I was suffering, and I felt like there was no way out. But I made a decision that I was going to align myself with what Jesus said, and he told me to run to my miracle. Come on, give the Lord a clap and a shout. Someone say, run to your miracle. Come on, somebody say, run to your miracle. Come on, somebody say, run to your next level. Hey, come on, Harvest Church. Someone's going to run. Come on. Someone's going to run. Someone's going to take it's time to make a new move. It's time to make a new move. Come on. It's time to make a move. Anybody want this to be a defining moment in your life? The word moment comes from the word atom and atomic. An atom is the smallest particle of an element. You can hardly see it, much like one day out of the whole course of your life. Atomic's explosive dynamic can explode stuff. How does what's tiny get to where it's dynamic and explosive? When you mix it with rapid energy and faith. Let me tell you something. You want a defining moment? Mix what's small with a lot of faith. Come full throttle. Did you come to get something today? You come to bless somebody today. Did you come to get something today? Did you come to heal somebody today? What happens when you show up? Come on, somebody. What'd you come to do today? I hope the Lord blesses me. No, I ain't walking out of here until I get what I came for. I'm going to run to my miracle. Is that a financial miracle? Why? Because financial things are about to change for you. I ain't teasing either. The next 3 months, watch the next 90 days of your life. If you sit on your assets, it won't work. That was PG-13. Watch, become disciplined. The plans of the diligent lead to plenty. Come on, somebody want to get a little rich? Live rich. Live rich or die trying. Forget 50 Cent. Get rich or die trying. Why don't we live rich or die trying? Jesus said be rich toward God. Rich in faith. Come on, somebody. Rich in good works. Rich in generosity. Rich in compassion. Rich in healing people. Why? Because we're the only Jesus that this world's going to see. We're Harvest Church. That means Jesus said, lift up your eyes. The harvest is big. Come on, let's give people a God experience. Thank you. I'm done preaching. Why don't you close your eyes and give the Lord a big old clap for a minute?